Hello, Roman here. So in the previous episode, we created a block, a movable block, the kind of thing in a graphics editor where you can grab it and move it around on an editor canvas, right? And today we're going to continue and we will add rotational behavior to the block. But this episode is going to be much shorter because I'm not going to write any code today. Instead, I will pair with ChatGPT and it will do all the hard work, and I will act basically as an interpreter that will be a runtime for the code that GPT is writing for me, right? And yeah, I think it's a good example of how ChatGPT or like LLMs in general can be used to enhance your workflow. So it's not your job replacer, right? It's more like a tool that allows you to concentrate, like to focus on the task rather than going through roadblocks and like trying to figure out why something doesn't work the way it should be. And you're still learning on the way, but you're learning from what the other person, kind of in this case GPT, is telling you, right? So it's an interesting workflow, I think. And yeah, of course it's not 100% of time correct, but human beings are also not always correct as well, right? So it's also always a good idea to verify what ChatGPT is saying, right? In this case, it's going to be easier because we'll run the code, and if it behaves correctly, then it means it's correct. If not, then not. But in general, it's always good to double check if what it is saying actually exists, right? So you could Google, for example. Yeah, but let's start with the first prompt, and we'll ask ChatGPT to write a rotatable rectangle in React. Yeah, it's going to write some component. We'll use useEffect, and we'll get some CSS and the setup code. And I will dump all of it into Code Sandbox. And you can see that it works. It's far from perfect, but the basic idea is here. It's a good starting point. So what I want to do now is, depending on the distance of cursor from the block, I would like the angular speed, the rotation speed, to be different, right? So maybe the closer to the block we are, the slower it should be. The farther away the cursor from the block is, the faster the block should be rotating. This is a common behavior in editors. So we're going to ask GPT to rewrite the component, including the new behavior, and it's going to calculate. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, let's test it again. And okay, it works. It's kind of too fast. It's super fast, and it's actually so fast that you cannot even tell the difference in speed. But that's okay. We can ask it now to slow down the rotation, right? Okay, and yeah, it will. Okay, it suggests to have a scaling factor, which makes a lot of sense. Cool. Let's try it again. Okay, it's much slower now. Still too fast. It's too fast. Not enough for us having like a subtle control, but yeah, it's okay. I think as the next step, it would be good to rotate the block in the direction of the mouse pointer, right? So if it's going down, then rotate it left. If it's going up, then rotate it right. If it's going left, then also left, right, to the right. Because we want a UI to be predictable, right? Cool. And yeah, it looks like it's simplifying the code, because now it's just taking an angle and applying it straight to the block. Let's test it. Cool, it works. Nice. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that it always works from the first try, because it's not the easiest component to build, but yeah, it's still good. Okay, what we want to do now is, so right now when I'm moving the mouse, it's always rotating the block. What I want to do is only rotate the block when I'm pressing down the mouse and then moving the block. right? Because we don't want the rotation to be always active. Okay, so let's see what it's gonna do. Yeah, okay. It's as simple as adding a couple event listeners for the mouse down and mouse up. Cool. Nice. Okay, and now you can see that when I'm starting to rotate the block, when I'm pressing down the mouse button, rotation kind of jumps, it shifts, right? It shifts to the new position of the mouse cursor. We can do better. So let's ask GPT to rewrite component again, but this time account for, basically we need an offset. We need an offset between the current angle and the new angle, and then maintain this offset during the rotation. So we're going to ask for that. Let's see. Yeah, so it's going to track an offset in the state and okay, cool. Let's test it. Nice. Yeah. And yeah, now it works. Now it looks as something that you could use in production. Yeah, the final thing that we could do is refactor the component, right? Because right now everything is basically contained in a single use effect, which is, it's still okay, but it can be a little bit better. It can be more like better written in a way that is more maintainable and readable. So I guess if we ask GPT to do it, maybe it will break it down into smaller functions or something. So yeah, let's try it. Okay, I'm going to ask it, and so what it says is, yeah, it says that it will break it down into smaller functions. Cool. Okay. Does it still work? Yeah, it still works, which is nice. Okay, let's take a look at the code. Yeah, so it got wrong some React use effect dependencies, which is, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but individual functions are here. I guess they could be memoized using use callback, and we could actually ask GPT to do that as well for us. We could say like, now rewrite this component, like, and optimize it or something. But yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. It's good code. Cool. Yeah, so this is how ChatGPT can be used basically on daily basis when you're creating UIs or writing any kind of software programs. For example, I used it to write configs for FFmpeg. So this is a CLI that is used for composing videos, and they use a really weird DSL that describes the way how things should be composed together, and it's hard for me to remember all of it. So I usually ask ChatGPT to do whatever, like to write this query string for me. And it does it pretty well. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. And if you want to see something more about GPT or this kind of process, let me know in comments.